There are many long-gone buildings that shaped Marquette during its early years, but buildings that still live on in people's memories. Some succumbed to fire, like the first version of the First Baptist Church. Sitting on the corner of Front and Ridge, right across the street from the First Methodist Church, the First Baptist Church was a huge sandstone structure that was home to one of the first water-powered pipe organs in the state of Michigan. The water would allow the organ to produce a massive sound throughout the building, or at least it would produce the massive sound when there was enough water pressure to power the keyboard, something that didn't always happen with the building sitting on top of the Front Street Hill. In early January 1965, the First Baptist Church met the fate of many old sandstone structures in Marquette when a fire started in the building's coal bin. City residents took picnic lunches and sat on the steps of the Peter White Library to watch it burn down. The structure was a complete loss, and several years later, the second edition of the First Baptist Church opened adjacent to the NMU campus. The original site of the church is now the parking lot of the Landmark Inn. Other long-gone buildings actually fought fire, like the old Spring Street Fire Station. This was built in the years following the Great Fire of 1868 and provided the first home for the fledgling Marquette Fire Department. Along with another fire station on North Front Street, it provided protection for the city's homes and businesses until the early 1970s, when it was replaced by a new station a few blocks away on South 3rd. The site of the old station is now a parking lot. Another building that sat where we now see a parking lot would be the Marquette Steam Laundry. This building sat on Main Street across from the train station and provided laundry services for the first 60 or so years of the 20th century. After being torn down, the land became home to the city parking lot, which now sits behind Donkers. And of course, even away from downtown sat buildings that came before slightly more familiar structures. The Tower Motel and Gas Station, for example, sat on the very outskirts of Marquette on West Washington Street, west of McClellan. Back then, it was one of the last structures you saw as you were leaving the city. After it was torn down, the land was reused several times and the city grew around it. You may know that very piece of property better as the 40-plus year home of Marquette's Shopko store.